Highland Park is a really special place for my family. My grandparents bought a house in 1929 there, and my wife and I have been there since 1986, and it's just one of the most special neighborhoods I really believe in the world. And who better to say it more than Pat Moeller? A few years ago, he said, "Let's do it, the Centennial." It was your idea, Pat.
No, that was not. Listen, this is one of the best, if not the best, neighborhoods in the entire city. When we talk about Hamilton, we're always proudly talking about Highland Park. When somebody wants to invest here, we tell people, hey, drive through Highland Park, see the homes, see how well they're maintained. And this is a beautiful park here. You've got mature trees, see a lot of children, see a lot of dogs. That's what it's all about, isn't it, when you think about it? But it's great to celebrate 100 years, but also celebrate the spirit of Highland Park. Whether it's the 5Ks through the streets of Highland Park on Thanksgiving Day, whether it's, and I found this last year, one of your streets had some Christmas lights over the middle of it. I want to say thank you very much. I got out of my car, took a picture of it. I'm not sure if it was against the law, but I don't care. Because driving through a neighborhood, it was like it's a wonderful life all of a sudden. You had lights over the street, and I just really, really love that. But the spirit of Highland Park is also people walking their dogs up and down the street, coming through the park here, husbands, wives, grandparents, grandchildren, just walking, being pedestrians in a beautiful neighborhood. So, on behalf of the city of Hamilton, congratulations on 100 years. This place is just beautiful. Thank you for maintaining the homes here, because this is truly a treasure. This neighborhood is a treasure. So thank you, Highland Park. Thank you, committee.
Thank you. We would like to have Joan Crane come up, just say a few words, and also take this time, if anybody from Highland Park has a quick 1-minute memory or a thought, good luck, whatever. Come on, Joan.
Well, there's not much to say.
Oh, come on, Joan. When we first started talking about it, Joan had so many stories. You've been here for a long time, right? And you are the best Highlander.
But I haven't been the worker bees like all the rest of you have been. So it's just wonderful to see everybody. Yes, I have grown up in Highland Park, and my children have grown up in Highland Park. And my grandchildren, some of my grandchildren lived here for a long time too. So I think it's just great. I love living here, and I always have. And I don't know if my son is here, and if he has any. I know he and his buddy Rod Tompkins could probably tell you a lot of stories, and so could I, about the growing up with John Stretch and Rod Tompkins and Andrew Crane and Mark Sapine. But Andrew, you want to say something? Yeah. Sitting, my daughter's here too. But anyway, I think it's great. I think we ought to keep on doing activities like we've done, in the past with our movies and all that sort of thing. I think it's not that expensive to do things like that and have little picnics down here and get together and keep up the Highland Park.
Should I want the mic?
This is Andrew Bud Crane.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. Mrs. Highland Park right here. My mom. Yeah.
My sister Susan Myers has been so active in all this, and she's in Jamestown, and I think my niece Ann Mills was going to try to drive her around, because she's really a historian and knows so much of the history of all the area, and is better than I am and all that. But anyway.
I think they've planted more trees here over the years because we played so much football down here growing up. They wanted to thwart that, so we tore up this place. Anytime it rained or was muddy, we'd come down here just to play football and get as muddy as we could, and parents would yell at us. Rob and I were reminiscing about that. So, but yeah, growing up in this neighborhood was terrific. It's still, it seems pretty much the same. I love it. Nothing much has changed. It's a wonderful place to raise children, and I have so many fun memories of living here, so it's great to be back. My sister's here too. She may have some. No, she's waiting. No. Yeah. My sister created a newspaper when she was a kid called the Highland Park Courier, and I'd love to get on the website on Facebook and share some of it, because it is a great snapshot. I still have all the copies of just life in the 1970s in Highland Park. I mean, little did she know that creating that newspaper would create such a great snapshot of that day, those days. And they're hilarious to read. A lot of them is just, interviewing kids in the neighborhood, but also adults, and talking about the 1913 flood with my grandma, my mom's mom, and things of that nature. So I'd love to distribute that if she would ever let me. I don't know.
It's very rudimentary.
It is rudimentary, but my sister was 13 years old when she created it, so.
No computers. No
Yeah, right. Because there was one, we had a pet, was it a pet contest down here in Virginia Park, where people just brought their pets down. They had like the oldest pet, the smallest pet, and all of it is ranked, and they had judges. And it was an event here where you'd have a pet contest, and so people brought their mice and their rabbits, of course their dogs and cats. It's hilarious. So I'd love for everyone to see that someday.
And the music, when I have quizzes.
Oh, right, and all the music and the quizzes and the songs. Everyone's favorite movie was Jaws. I mean, it's just the way it was. And Billy, Don't Be a Hero, all those old songs and things. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to say anything? Anything at all? Okay, did Bill Bruner, he already left?
I will say something.
Oh, come on. Oh, you know what? I forgot to thank all the people who volunteered in the committee. I'm not going to go through names, but if you can maybe raise your hands. There's so many people that came together to make this happen, especially Linda.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Linda, and I'm a second-time arounder. I was actually raised on Ray Avenue, where my parents owned a house since 1944 or 45, something like that. And my daughter now lives there, so it stayed in the family that long. But in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I was living at 460 Emerson, and we were there for 19 years. I raised my children there, and I left for a long time, lived in Michigan, Florida, and Colorado, and I came back here. Can you imagine that? But I always thought about this neighborhood, and now I live on Highland Avenue. So I just want to thank all of the people on the committee. They have worked so hard. And I don't know if you said anything, but Unsung Salvage was going to be making t-shirts for us, and they were vandalized last night. So if you want a t-shirt, we're giving away 200. Just stop in Unsung Salvage on Main Street, where Marshall Electric used to be, if you all remember that, and get yourself a t-shirt with the Highland Park logo on it. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much. Oh, yes, it'd be great. I think you came the farthest, right?
Well, I think so. I came from 300 miles away, but it was worth every mile I drove. My name's Paul Henneberger. I grew up on Marsh Avenue, as did my brother and sister. My parents lived there for quite a long time before they passed away. But I think the other thing to think about a community is not only what it means right now, and obviously this is a great place to live, but also the impact of the people who grew up in these neighborhoods and are growing up right now. And when I think about people like Cynthia Crane, I mean, here's someone who's a published author who's known internationally for the topic she wrote about, and she wrote about her own family. And I think that's something else to think about any community, is what does the impact of that community have within the broader community, within the state, within the country, within the world. And I think this is the kind of community that spawns people like Cynthia who bring positive things to the immediate community and the rest of the world. And I think this is one of those strong communities that raises great people who go on and help other people. I think that's part of its legacy as well. So here's recognizing Highland Park for all the great things that happen here. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? I just wanted to read just a couple sentences from the paper about Highland Park. The neighborhood of Highland Park dates back to at least 1919. Callahan Reed's advertising called Highland Park the place for a real home. He said this was the place where a successful Hamiltonian could build his dream house. I'm sorry, my father is 85, and my aunt is here, and hopefully he'll come later, but this was the place where a successful Hamiltonian could build his dream house. And I just think that's such a great thought. We really have something special.